Oda has finally revealed the Iron Giant, and now we have a new mystery on our hands. What is the Iron Giant apologizing for? Did it betray him? Could this giant not keep a promise to Joy Boy? There are a few possibilities, and we will discuss them at the end of this video, but before that, let's review some other interesting and questionable moments from this chapter. It wasn't Zoro's chapter as most of us expected, but we still got a cool detail about Zoro. Lucci is unable to move, but he refuses to fall. We see that he has a serious wound from Zoro's attack. Many underestimated the strongest CP0 agent, Lucci. He is a monster with an awakened devil fruit, and the fact that Zoro could damage Lucci at this level without using his full power says a lot about Zoro's capabilities. Chapter 1111 starts with Mars breaking the Labo phase barrier and entering inside. He arrives at the place where Lucci ended up after Jinbei's attack, while Lucci is turning back to human form. Lucci reports everything he knows to Mars and says Vegapunk's message will begin in 6 minutes, and asks Mars to spare Kaku's life, but he replies that he won't pay attention to what insects he steps on. We can take two things from this answer. For anyone who still doubted the Gorosei and their powers, now even Lucci confirmed that they are extremely powerful. Kaku is a very strong individual as well, and for Lucci to ask someone to spare Kaku's life is very unusual and frightening. Also, Mars, similarly to Saturn, perceives humans as insects. Mars saying this phrase is an important detail because now we know that not only Saturn uses this word. This is a feature carried by all the Gorosei. Most likely, they mention humans as insects because they are not humans themselves, and not because they see themselves as gods. The only character that has mentioned the same thing is Mihawk. At Marineford, while slashing two characters, he said that he does not recall the face of every insect he crushes. Also, in chapter 51, when Mihawk chose his small knife to fight Zoro, he mentioned that he is not the kind of fool who'd go all out just to hunt a rabbit. At first, I thought that was just a cool phrase, but interestingly, when Oda drew the children of Crocodile, Mihawk, and Don Flamingo if they had kids, he wrote something interesting. Mihawk's kid says, "What do you want, rabbit?" Now, I don't think it's just a coincidence because we have seen the term rabbit somewhere else as well. In chapter 1095, Oda revealed the reason behind the God Valley incident, and it's the native hunting competition, which is a triennial contest partaken by the world nobles. For the purposes of the event, the hunted all have a target symbol on their back and are referred to as rabbits. The edition of the tournament held on God Valley featured around 100,000 civilians as rabbits to hunt, including 150 rare rabbits and 13 super rare rabbits. There are still a lot of mysteries around Mihawk, and these two parallels with the Gorosei may hint at something interesting. You can check a video about these details right here. Let's get back to this chapter. The scene cuts to Luffy, who is very happy greeting Dory and Bragi. They ask Luffy why he suddenly looks like the god that was known among the giants, but of course, Luffy does not understand what they're talking about. Hopefully, we will see a scene where Luffy finds out the truth about his real powers soon. Probably we'll see that at Elbaf. Dory blows a horn to signal retreat to all giants on Egghead Island. I believe this is not just a random horn, and it has a deeper meaning than that. In mythology, as a baby, Zeus was cared for by the goat Amalthea. Not knowing his strength, Zeus broke off one of her horns, which then had the divine power to provide unending nourishment. Even before creating One Piece, Oda had some ideas about the horn. In his fourth short story, the narrator tells the story of a dragon's horn that was stolen 10 years ago. It was the only such thing existing and was said to have wondrous powers. Later, we find out that it was not just a myth, and Oda reveals a character who actually has a dragon's horn, and by blowing in this horn, he can summon a dragon. An interesting detail is that at the end of this chapter, we finally see the Iron Giant, and surprisingly, one of the horns of this character is broken. Coincidence? Certainly not, as we're talking about Oda. I am not saying that this horn activated the Iron Giant, but I'm sure that the giant's horn has a deeper meaning and powers. On one of the earliest cover stories, we have seen Usopp using a horn. We also see Luffy calling for someone. As we know, Elbaf is going to be Usopp's arc, so this could be foreshadowing for Usopp's future powers. Maybe giants will give Usopp a horn and he will be able to call them when he's in danger. One of his lies of having an army of 8,000 men will come true as well. We can count the Straw Hats Grand Fleet too, but Usopp having his own army makes more sense for his lies. Big Mom mentioned that she could become a pirate king if she had an army of giants, and as we know, Luffy is going to become the pirate king, so Usopp and overall the Straw Hats having an army of the giants on their side makes a lot of sense. Back to the chapter. Saint Warkiri attacks Luffy and the giants with powerful Conqueror's Haki. His roar is so strong that Luffy's eyes, hat, clothes, and even his scars are blown away from his body. Warcury's haki reached even the marine battleships in the sea, and we see some marines fainting. Dory and Bragi use Svalin to block Warcury's attack. Svalin is a legendary shield in Nordic mythology which stands in the front of the sun, protecting the world from her heat. Then we get some interesting details without further explanation. Saturn mentioned that the giants and the sun god Nika is a bad combination, and Dory said that the Gorosei in their beast form look like the beasts at the forest of Elbaf. We don't know what they mean, but one thing is for sure. The Elbaf arc is going to be amazing. Saturn attacks Dory and Bragi with his venom explosion balls, but we get another cartoonish Luffy moment, and he hits all venom balls back with a baseball bat. It has the number 56 on it. As we know, 56 can be read as Gomu, meaning rubber in Japanese. Luffy mentions again that the Gorosei don't take any damage, and he thinks that they must be immortal, to which Dory and Bragi answer that they have not heard of any power or race that can do it. I think for now there are only two possibilities. Either the five elders are the devils, or Imu made them immortal with her powers, maybe even both. We also saw Kizaru in this chapter, who is still lying on the battleship. He is covering his eyes with his arm and asks the Marines to just let him rest. Of course, he is physically wounded as well, but with this panel, Oda showed us that the wound of killing his own friend hurts him way more than Luffy's punches. Of course, he is at his lowest emotionally, but I still don't like how Oda took this character from the battle this way. For years, Kizaru has been the most interesting character for me, so I don't want his story to end this way. A part of me still hopes that he will oppose the Gorosei and help the Straw Hats to escape at the end of this arc. He already lost Vegapunk, and I don't want to believe that he won't even try to save his other friends, Kuma, Bonnie, and Sentamaru after this incident. On this last page of the chapter, we finally see the ancient robot. I am sorry, Joy Boy. With these words, the chapter ends, and unfortunately One Piece goes on a break for 3 weeks. Of course, it's sad, but Oda deserves some rest, and we still have a lot of information to comprehend in this chapter. What was the Iron Giant apologizing for? We know that the Iron Giant is a legendary robot that attacked Marie-Joie 200 years ago. It was originally created 900 years ago, around the time of the Void Century. It was inactive due to running out of energy and was kept on Egghead. After hearing the drums of liberation from Monkey D. Luffy activating his Gear 5 form against Borsalino, the Iron Giant powered back online. After hearing the Giant's first words, now it's 100% confirmed that it was connected to Joy Boy, and most likely the Iron Giant was his companion. I think it's possible that Joy Boy had a crew like Luffy's. There are too many parallels. For example, the Iron Giant and Frankie. Frankie needs cola as his energy source as well. Zunesha and Chopper for obvious reasons, Poseidon and Jinbei, the Noah and Sunny, Nefertari Lily, and Nefertari Vivi. 6 Straw Hats are left. There are theories that Nami is from the Nerona family. If it's true, Nami's parallel could be Imu, who betrayed Joy Boy, and there are 5 Straw Hats left that could resemble the Gorosei. Of course, this idea is too far-fetched, but Oda said that One Piece is a story about Nakama, so it's all down to that, and it's possible that the main difference between Joy Boy and Luffy's crews is the true friendship. Half of his crew betrayed Joy Boy, and the other half was punished by Imu for helping and staying with Joy Boy. Another possibility is that Joy Boy was akin to Jesus with a group of followers, and there was a Judas among them, Imu. The other disciples might have been powerless to save Joy Boy, which could explain why the Iron Giant seeks forgiveness. I don't think the Iron Giant betrayed Joy Boy itself. Even 600 years later, he tried to attack Marie-Joie, so it could be somehow programmed to be loyal to Joy Boy, but another mystery is how it got activated 200 years ago if there was no Joy Boy or Luffy during that time. Even in the final saga of One Piece, new mysteries are revealed with every chapter. That's it for today. If you want to see a video about Mihawk and his connections with the Gorosei and Imu, you can watch this video right here. Thanks for watching.